Welcome back to Combust Astrology. My name's Liv. Let's actually go ahead and hop into what we'll be expecting for the full moon in Capricorn. That's on the 21st of July at 6:16:54 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's go ahead and hop in. So, the moon is going to be several things, right? So, it's going to be Capricorn, 29th degree of Capricorn. It's going to be pretty much conjuncting Pluto in Aquarius. It's also going to be at a world point in the chart. In case you don't know what that is, it is any of the axes, the rising, MC, descendant, and IC. They're a few degrees apart, but it is going to be there. It's opposing a water moon Cancer, so that's already important. And we have a few first timers with this energy here. That's also something to keep in mind. So, what does this mean for the moon itself to be in Capricorn at the 29th degree? It is quite literally a reset, if you will. It's a reset in the many ways of being earth going into air. It's a reset of structure of Capricorn going into the harmonious, uh, open, equal structure of Aquarius, right? When you go from Capricorn, you go from a structure of power that is vertical, and when you go into Aquarius, you go into a structure of power that is horizontal. And so that is a really big thing. Also, being on the descendant, really close to it, it's really a big emphasis on the seventh house, first house dynamics of self versus other and the relations of that itself. We have the sun here being really, really, really close, as you can say, to the rising. It's in the 12th house still. So it's a little bit of a movement, right? And that's why I'm saying this is a little bit of a reset. It's a little bit of an awkward reset feeling, but it can be good if your intentions are that, where you're going from being so hyper focused, not even just financially, but in your daily structure of the sixth house, going into how can I be harmonious and utilize the power of leverage that Pluto and Aquarius is going to give me, even though it's retrograded. How can I use my own network connections to help me create a new flow of structure in my day-to-day life that will also be less stressful, less financially burdening, less cold, right? Aquarius is still going to be Saturnian in that old uh, astrology point of view, but it's still something that is a lot lighter, right? The sun being at the 29th degree of Cancer is getting ready to basically leave the womb, right, in the 12th house here, and it's in Cancer. It is a very comfortable place. This could be something when I look at the two of them in opposition here, as times might be tough, but it is a daily remembrance of something that you've been doing. And moving from Cancer into that Leo is like, hey, we're about to blossom. You know, it has been a very difficult month, but we're about to actually reset. We're about to move forward. There has been a lot of chaos and turmoil, but we're about to actually move towards a better beginning, right? Sun is going to be close to Venus, where Venus is going to, um, won't fully be conjunct, but it's going to be closer to the rising. It's also going to allow Venus now, as we have had our Venus return, to kind of be like, hey, Venus was in retrograde last year. What is it that I learned? Right? What is it that I now want? And so I look at this and I see that the sun is going to be going through these points where it actually gets to touch several aspects of the chart, and it's going to be able to be like, hey, I am I'm brand new. I have new expectations. I have new needs. I have new things that I want for myself. I have new uh, system of values that I want, right? And then I have a new way of wanting to get to it. Mercury will definitely be in, it will definitely be in Leo before well, sorry, it's going to move over to Virgo and it's going to retrograde, but it's going to be in Leo with the sun in Leo at the same time. So it's going to be a little bit of an energy that you're going to be able to harmonize together. So there's that to keep in mind. The other thing is with the Virgo retrograde that's going to be coming up here soon, this is something to really keep in mind. Even though it is the full moon, to make this intention now, as we do see the trine from the Mercury and the Chiron here on the midheaven. And this is a subtle thing as well. Uh, and the reason it's subtle is because it's going to be a backed up in the corner of a wall type of feeling, but you're so preoccupied with this, the moving out of the womb and comfort, and also the thing that you used to do so much that it's like, ooh, is it really just that I'm uncomfortable about it, or is it just that I also have this as an identity and my ego is like I refuse to change, right? It is something that's probably hard hitting because it's almost like a regret based upon something you think you should have done, right? And the moon also squares Chiron with this as well. So it's like you got this, although it's not an official, uh, it's not an official aspect in that sense, but you got this kind of weird looking, point here where it's like, hey, if we make this an inconjunct, I'm sure it actually reaches that. But the things that I'm currently experiencing right now, how is it affecting me mentally with my sense of pride of who I am? With the fact that I probably want to do more, but I'm being requested to change, right? And then we start to move with the start of this intention with Pluto and Mars trining together in the 11th house with that, and the seventh. As we're going into this rebirth, it's like we're having to shed people in the same aspect. But while we're shedding the people itself, it could just simply be that you're not necessarily telling the person to go screw off and you'll never see them again, but it's more like, hey, I need to be able to find some way. I'm going to do this trying just to the third house itself and not just specifically to Lilith, but to say like, hey, I I need this. I need to be able to do this, whatever it could be. I need to be able to actually have this happen, right? That's going to be difficult. And so once again, we're reminded of that difference in structure with Uranus squaring the Mercury, being the first, and it's in the 10th, right? So this is something as simple as literally speaking up about a situation in your job, and then you get fired because maybe you want a union because you're seeing some of the people there getting mistreated. And then it's like, actually, no, right? When this conjunction was, sorry, when this conjunction happens, it's kind of reminding me a little bit of what we had Uranus and Mars and Taurus opposing the Scorpio moon, depending on where that is, because it's another fixed sign. So it would just be with the fixed axis as well. So that's something to keep in mind. Hopefully that's able to get across on that part of this whole overall process. But let's talk about something that's a little bit more soft and calm, in my personal opinion, which is the factor of the moon and the sun and the Saturn. Well, the Uranus and Saturn are not conjuncting anymore, but the the Neptune that is in the eighth, trying that 12th house here. It is last goodbyes, right? As the sun and the moon are opposing each other, as Cancer moves over into that first house, it is truly last goodbyes. And it is a very soft feeling. It almost reminds me of the third decan of Scorpio, um, where it gives this expression of something that is dying, but you're kind of remembering it. And it is a beautiful homage to just being able to be in bliss. It's almost as if you were at the end of your life and you're about to die, and you're just telling yourself, wow, I really did this. I really lived my whole life. I really went through all of these things. I really, 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 really XYZ. And this kind of gives me like Seven of Cups, maybe. Like I had so many choices and I did the right things and it might not have been perfect, but it's almost as if we were in this universe where as you die, you are in the womb of a woman and you are about to also be birthed again. And in the womb, you remember your past life as it is leaving you. And while you're within that womb and you're about to enter into your new life, this is the energy that looking at this kind of gives me. The sun is moving into that new life and also still having a nice remembrance of the old, the choices that it got to make, all the things that it got to do. And then saying, I'm no longer going to have this routine and structure. I'm about to do something brand new. So it is honestly beautiful. In my newsletter that I released at the start of this month, if you're not in that, check it out. A link will be in the description below. I really covered how this transit can feel a little bit icky because you're all over the place, right? And if it's too much to handle, you can always just, I don't know, binge watch reality TV shows. But if you are able to connect within yourself and you have been practicing grounding, I would really emphasize sitting back and writing how you feel a lot about this time. With Mars being in an air sign, with Pluto about to touch the moon, all these factors of communication are important, but this isn't something that you necessarily have to vocalize to other people. It could just be to yourself with that Sun Neptune trine. And with the Mercury Chiron trine, it would also probably behoove you not to say things you long term might regret. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and I hope this full moon serves you well.